What's going on, guys? It's Alex Leba back here again for a brand new video, and today I'm joined by David. If you have not seen the last video to where we showed his entire massive giant Blu-ray collection, check that video out. This is one of my subscribers. He's been subscribed to me for how long?
Ever since I discovered Wasting Money 1. I think the first video I saw of you was Cine Creep. So yeah, almost since the beginning then, pretty much.
Damn. Today we're going to be talking about super rare and obscure movies.
Or super valuable. It was honestly hard to narrow it down to like 10 or 12. Yeah, I just have tons and tons of movies that are either out of print, hard to find, or just is super expensive if you do find them. But these are just some of my favorites, or ones that have the most interesting stories, or movies that we just like. And now here's a video that's gonna make a lot of people jealous. Because when I see other people's videos of rare and out of print stuff that I don't have, I'm just like, you suck. So I'm sure a lot of people are gonna watch this and be like, God damn it, this son of a bitch, I wish I had those movies.
Gravity. So what's the story behind this? This is the Diamond Luxe edition.
Yes.
I've never seen this before in person.
So Warner Brothers put out a few of these. Most of them are out of print. I think like the one that you have is the only one that's not out of print, is the Forrest Gump. But they did this with Green Mile, they did it with Gremlins. To this day, you can't really buy those versions anywhere in any store. You can probably get them online from either a third-party person on Amazon or on eBay. This one is especially cool because it has a Dolby Atmos track, which is not on any of the other Blu-rays. It's not on the 3D, it's not on the regular 2D Blu-ray. It's only on this version in this like fancy Neo pack. The reason this is super rare is because that Dolby Atmos track and the second disc that has a like silent-ish version of the movie where it's basically no music, the dialogue and sound effects. So it's like a whole different experience watching that version.
Next to Scanner Darkly, directed by one of my top 3 favorite filmmakers ever, Richard Linklater. I love the man. This movie's animated using an animation technique that I don't think anybody ever uses. He made a film in this style called Waking Life, which is actually one of my favorite movies. This one I don't like as much as that, but it's still really good. And this version is out of print. Why?
Yeah, I mean, some of you might be like, wait, this movie's not out of print or hard to find. This version of it is because it was the very first Blu-ray that they put out, and there's a special feature on here. What's it called? One Summer in Austin. It's a like 27-minute thing that there's some weird rights issue with that feature that they couldn't put it on physical media anymore. All I read was that there's a rights issue with the whatever copyright or stuff that they show in that documentary. I don't know. This version of this movie is out of print because of that documentary. If you find this anywhere, it's probably the newer version that doesn't have that feature.
I got it in the video with Chauncey Phillips back in 2017, so it's probably not, honestly.
Probably the newer one, yeah.
A film by my all-time favorite director, and that is A Scanner Darkly. I hope to God I have the version that has that feature. The next movie...
It's one of the most coveted ones, and that's why it's sells for so much, because everyone wants it, because it's just a good movie. Made by a guy who's not a good guy. Mel Gibson's not a great person. He's the Dalton of filmmakers, except Mel Gibson's good at what he does for a living. It's kind of like the gore of Braveheart and Passion of the Christ, but with Native Americans and pyramids, and it's just really cool. It's basically a chase movie, but without cars. It's just people running on foot. It's just super non-stop action kind of thing once it gets rolling. Very first version of Life Force, put out by Scream/Shout Factory. This is out of print not just because the slipcover is rare to find, but they sold out of this and they didn't make more. What they basically did is just put out a lesser version, one that doesn't have a slipcover at all, and it's missing a feature from here. Hard to find, even harder to find with this lovely slipcover. And just like any good nerdy collector, of course, I reverse the cover art. I think anyone who doesn't do that is a psychopath. Why would you not? Why would you not do this? Why would you want to look at the same image? That's what everyone complains about. What's the point of slipcovers? It's the same picture. Not with the Scream Factories.
This one, everybody knows, you know, this one's out of print.
Famously out of print.
Dogma. This is actually the only Kevin Smith film that I have not seen all the way through. And...
What? Funny thing is, I bought this for like $7.99. It was literally in like the Best Buy $7.99 dump bin.
It was probably around the time it first came out though, right?
Yeah, like a year after the release, when the movies go super cheap after they've been around for a while. I made a little custom 2-disc set DVD of the movie Vulgar because it has like a 40-minute Making of Dogma documentary that's not on this Blu-ray.
The Evil Dead, but it's a limited edition that includes special features DVD.
You'll see this for sale everywhere, but it won't have this little green banner at the top. And yeah, it has this second disc, bonus DVD that has a lot of really cool stuff on there. All the features that are on those old Anchor Bay DVDs, all those fancy like Book of the Dead box sets they put out, because the Blu-ray only has commentaries, and if you do find it, people want a lot of money for it. So yeah, one of my favorites that I own. Catherine Bigelow's vampire western type movie that a lot of people love. Remember, I was listening to a podcast with Tarantino, and him and some other dude were gushing over how much they love this movie, and I had never seen it until I got this Blu-ray. Now, if you're looking at this cover and thinking, that doesn't look like a cool movie, that just looks like a Twilight cover, that's because Lionsgate put this this out around the time Twilight was coming out, so they made it look like it's a Twilight type movie. It is not at all the kind of movie that this looks like, and that's the only reason they put it out, is because, hey, that's a vampire movie. What vampire movie did we not put out on Blu-ray yet? This. I had to buy it, I think, used on eBay for a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money for a used one. That was like back when it first went out of print right away, and I kind of knew it was just going to go up and up in value, so I think like 20 bucks or so I paid for this. If you see this anywhere at like a used shop, buy it, because it's a good movie, and also because if you don't like the movie, you can sell it and make a lot of money. Yeah. Where else are you going to find investment tips?
Next up is a film a lot of Blu-ray collectors know is out of print. Dawn of the Dead, the original 1978, right?
Yes, indeed.
I haven't seen this all the way through, but I have seen the remake directed by Zack Snyder. That's pretty good. Little story with this. I walked into a pawn shop. I saw this for $2.50. I bought it in the car. I opened it up, and there was no freaking disc in there. And so I went back in and got my money back.
Pretty sad. But even if you didn't get your money back, the story alone is worth a couple bucks.
It literally ruined my whole day.
Yeah, but it amuses the rest of us and makes us laugh, so I enjoy laughing at other people's misfortunes. So the fact that you had one just brings me a little joy, knowing that you were miserable for a few minutes.
Oh, okay. So in other words, you're a sick piece of shit.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Pretty much. One of Robert Rodriguez's early movies. I believe this was made for TV, I think, type movie, but it's called Road Racers.
Colorization in black and white. Don't tell me it's exactly like Sin City, is it?
It's not at all like Sin City. They just made the cover look like Sin City. So people
would buy the damn thing.
Just like they did with Near Dark and making it look like Twilight, they made this look like Sin City. That's why the title of the movie even looks like the Sin City letters.
That is funny.
I hate when they do that, because it's not at all like Sin City. I don't know why. Studios are weird. It's just a way of trying to get people to buy the movie. Yeah, when I bought this, I hadn't seen it, but I'm like, oh, Robert Rodriguez?
I really wish we could see the movie 100 years, but we can't.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you live long enough, you can freeze yourself like Walt Disney. And they'll thaw you out in 100 years, and you'll be like, oh, I guess that movie was worth cryogenically freezing my body for 100 years.
Huh. If it leaned up against the shelf, would it collapse?
If you were a normal person, probably not. And then instead of everyone laughing, I would probably murder you. This is one of those movies that I honestly don't know whether or not it's good. All I know is that I really love it. Again, famously out of print. A lot of horror people and nerds want to collect this movie. Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead, Peter Jackson's super over-the-top gory zombie movie. Really like it. Really dislike it when I first saw it as a teenager. I'm like, this is goofy. Horror movies shouldn't be funny. That's because I was like, you know, an emo teenager who wanted everything to be like dark and serious and violent. Emo? I mean, I didn't dress emo, but like my mentality was emo, and I hated horror movies that were funny. Like I didn't like Chucky.
But did you cut yourself?
No, no.
You didn't like Chucky?
No, because I'm like, horror movies shouldn't be funny. Horror movies should just be really disturbing and violent.
Chucky is the shit.
But now I love horror comedies because I'm, you know, my brain developed a David Cronenberg movie called Existenz. Cool little movie. I think this is from the same company that put out Road Racers. Yeah, Echo Bridge. That's why it's out of print, because this company doesn't exist anymore. And I guess nobody picked up the rights to put this movie out again. Well, I know Lionsgate picked up the rights to a few of these that Echo Bridge put out. But anyway, yeah. Cool movie from a good director, and another out-of-print Blu-ray that I'm sure a lot of people who like David Cronenberg are seeing this and are getting jealous that they don't have it. Oh well, deal with it, folks.
Yeah, David Cronenberg, he's an interesting fellow.
Yes, I like him.
What do you think of Maps to the Stars?
It's fine. It's one of his lesser movies. Fine. It's still interesting, at least, because he's a really interesting guy.
You gave me that slipcover, thank you.
Yeah.
You had like 6 of them. How... Watch the other video. I'm just so confused.
I don't know how strong this microphone is, so I think I'm just louder when we're on camera. But other than that,
it's pretty. The mic's good. With the mic, it's the kind of thing to where like it also amplifies like a lot of the background sounds, like when you're in stores.
Yeah, that's why I turned the TV off. Yeah.
I always try to like for example in the Joe Russo scene, the dialogue and the music. That's all I want. I don't want any of the background sound. It just kind of sounds like shit. Like I tried the best I could with adjusting the audio levels to make it sound perfect.
One of my favorite Alex Leba videos was that one. Really enjoyed that one. Not just because I go to that certain Best Buy a lot, but just the whole video itself was really good. The sort of like ending where he let you guys in. Despite the fact that you weren't sending on, he's like, hey, let those guys in. That was cool. Like, he seemed like a decent dude, Joe Russo.
That's one of my favorite videos I've ever made as well. Because I, like, edit it just like Endgame. The sequence of events are kind of like Endgame, like, in a way. Let's go meet this son of a bitch. If you like Endgame, you'll like the video, more than likely. Why don't you have a Blu-ray channel on YouTube?
Because I work for a living, unfortunately, so don't really have time to film videos and edit videos.
You can just do what most people do, shoot it like on a crappy camera and just don't edit it.
Yeah, see, I had thought about doing that, but I'm just like, if it was me, I probably wouldn't watch that. I'd be like, oh, this low-effort, shitty video, I'm not watching this. But again, if the person in the video has an interesting enough personality and the video is entertaining enough, I don't think maybe the quality of the video would matter. I don't know if I'm willing to take that gamble. If this video gets lots of views and people seem to like me, maybe I'll make a YouTube channel.
I think a lot of people will check this one out because people will just be so happy that I'm back to talking about freaking Blu-rays again. And like,
maybe they should vote with the like and dislike button. If you would subscribe to me, if I made a YouTube channel and you would subscribe, like this video. If you wouldn't, dislike it. And
No,
don't do that.
No. Don't do that. Don't even make jokes about disliking it.
Put in the comments, like, I would subscribe to this idiot if he made a YouTube channel. Because, yeah, what's the point of putting in the effort if no one's going to watch it, I feel? But if people would subscribe, I'd be like, all right, someone's actually going to watch these. I'll make videos. Or I'll just send you the file and, like, Leba, edit my video for me. Comment, folks. Let me know.
There is quite a bit more that you have that's out of print, though. Like this Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Phantasm box set's out of print. We could have talked about that.
This box set's out of print. This box set's out of print. This is out of print. I think this is out of print. This is famously out of print. And all those other ones are... Well, that Blade Runner one's technically out of print. If you don't have a 4K player, get this version of Apocalypse Now because they messed up the 1080p Blu-rays on this new 4K version. That's why I still kept this.
How?
Because they didn't compress the files right, the video files. They made a 4K master file, right? And they used that same file for both the 1080p Blu-rays and the 4K Blu-rays, but they messed up the compression of the 4K file into a regular Blu-ray, and it looks weird with jagged edges and shit, so that old one is better looking if you don't have a 4K player. Even the DVD of the old Dawn of the Dead's out of print.
There's no way to watch the damn thing. Speaking of, you know, that sort of thing, can I maybe borrow Dawn of the Dead so I can watch it since I've never seen it?
Oh, of course not.
Of course not?
That's not going to happen.
Oh.
That will never leave my sight.
Why not?
Because it's like a precious child to me, and you're a pedophile, and I'm keeping these pedophiles, like Alex Leba, away from my children.
Well, I'm like... literally, like, in the presence of thousands of your children.
Exactly.
So how does that make any...
While I'm supervising the visit. I would never leave my children alone with you.
Oh, okay.
Or with anyone, for that matter.
You know everything.
A long time ago. About movies, yeah.
Oh.
Because I love movies.
Oh. Same.
More than people.
Really?
But people make movies, so that's kind of a weird conundrum. I hate people, but I love movies that are made by people, so I kind of do like people.
Patrick Bateman's not a movie enthusiast, but you're like Patrick Bateman in a way?
Nope. I don't go up to people at Best Buy and tell them I like to cut women's heads off or whatever.
Oh, it went through?
Okay. Are you surprised you broke?
I like to dissect girls.
Okay.
Alrighty, have a good day. Peace.
Alex,
What?
did you just say to that cashier, I like to dissect girls?
I don't know, I was trying to think of some quote from the movie to say.
Yeah, and you picked that one?
What other quote am I gonna use? This one?
Fucking ugly bitch. I want to stab you to death, then play around with your blood.
I almost would have preferred that.
Sadly, that's typical Leba behavior. Just completely sociopathic behavior. Why would you say that to a stranger?
I don't think it's sociopathic behavior. It's just, I don't know.
Maybe it's just, we'll just call it dumb. Because what are the chances that some lady working at Best Buy is going to know a quote from a movie from 20 years ago that no one thinks about anymore? A lot of people who like movies think about that movie. Normal people who are just at work doing their job for a paycheck do not give a shit. And you quoting a movie like that, it makes you scary.
I don't even know what prompted it. Because I was just texting on my phone and all of a sudden I just hear,
I like to dissect girls.
I'm just like, what the?
Shout out to Paul Flores. I like that guy. He's kind of an annoying hipster. But his personality is just like pure unfiltered. He's being his real self. You can tell.
Exactly. Alright guys, be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Lebonymous, and add me on Snapchat at Label with 5 A's, and be sure to give him an ad on Snapchat at...
Dawn of Dave. All one word.
Let me know what you guys thought of the video down below and our picks, and just anything we've said. And I'll see you guys later. Say bye, Dave.
See you, everyone.